What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and we're back with Painkiller Already, episode 54. And you know it's Cisco Disco, about spit a fat sack of Crisco with your boy Ian in the house. What's up, player?
Happening.
Ian, welcome to the show.
All right, Ian, we always
Thank
do
you.
one of these silly questions that's pretty much impossible to answer without either being a pussy or a weirdo. So here's the question this week. We're going with a stepsister question, correct?
Yes.
What-
I think we
okay.
should do more than one, but yeah, let's
Okay, we'll do
kick it off with
that in the mermaid, I think. All right, so here's the situation. You are once again, let's just say 17, and you have a stepsister. Your father or mother has remarried, and you now have a stepsister who lives across the hall from you, who is super fucking hot. We're talking kind of like for some reason we went with Sarah Michelle Gellar hot because she was in that movie Cruel Intentions, where she had the stepbrother that she was like flirting with, and it was really weird and awkward.
You can put
Would
it
you
anywhere
have sex
want.
with super hot across the room stepsister?
It's a freaking trick question. This is a no-brainer.
You would
What do
think so.
This
Is that a yes?
There's absolutely no blood relation here. Absolutely.
Okay, but it's going to be really awkward at the breakfast table, just saying.
Yeah, I'm just going to eat in the garage. It's perfectly fine. All ahead full.
Okay. We have a yes, I will fuck my sister from Ian. Good deal. Okay, question number 2. You can quote him as sister fucker Ian.
Also known as...
I take
Question
my
number
breakfast in the sister room, Ian.
Yes. Why go across the street when you go across the hall? I'm with you 100%. Question number 2. You are going to have sex with a mermaid. That is already established, let's just say. Would you prefer to have a mermaid who is half fish on the bottom or half fish on the top? You have to have sex with one.
Or your toes get turned to roast beef.
Right. I'm gonna go half fish on the top, and then it's just a full-blown skull fucking situation, because I like those cold, clammy lips, I'd imagine.
Wait. So you wanted to be a fish on the top, and you're still having oral sex with her? You did it wrong. Like, what, Ian?
Yes, I-
the hell is wrong with you?
I thought I was judging the whole anatomy.
What kind
the
of sick
mermaid
fuck are you? You're like, yeah, I want fish on the top, and then oral sex for days. Like, what the hell is with this guy?
I think he got the perfect answer. It's like, hell yeah, give me the half fish on the top. What are you thinking about?
Yeah, dude, I thought of this question a little differently. Like, I'm picturing this, and I had it all on my own. Like, this being a survival situation, and do I want my partner to be half fish on the top or the bottom, my mermaid partner? And I'm like, wow, I would think a regular mermaid, your standard top human, would be great, right? She could maybe catch food for us, bring in some fish. She could do the whole oral thing. She could, talk to me. I'm thinking that if she's human from the waist up, this is just a better companion in general.
Now, what happens if she wants some attention back, Woody?
Where does she want this attention? I'd kiss her.
You getting yours, but she ain't getting hers.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought
You've
that
taken
through.
the question too far at this point.
Oh, wait! Make Kyle uncomfortable was part of our goal here. So,
Wait a minute.
I don't
I
know.
think we have to establish one thing before we move along. What kind of fish? Because if it's a swordfish, good luck.
Really?
What if
What
it's
is
a
it
shark?
about?
What if it's a shark?
It's a
Dude.
sawfish.
All
If
fish
it's,
is.
if it's
I
a
hate
shark,
grouper.
I instantly know.
Slow-moving bottom feeder. Grouper.
I mean, some fish have teeth. Okay,
But from the
like,
waist down, they're all the same, right? As far
don't-
as I know.
I've never really tried to fuck a fish before, so I'm not quite sure. Wings?
No. Here's a question for you, though, Kyle. Would you fuck a hot stepmother?
Oh.
No, I couldn't do that. No.
What?
You couldn't do that to your dad? Like, seriously?
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about the rest of the relationship.
Yeah, come on. You can't do that to your dad. Everybody's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
you want
not
to fuck
right.
your dad's wife. Fucking weirdos.
All right, Kyle, since we're all about making you uncomfortable, what if your dad's willing to let you and he'll give you a high five while doing it?
Then that's
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Kyle's dad with those gigantic hands high-fiving him while he's at it?
Jesus Christ, you're talking about having a three-way with your dad now, dude. Fuck off.
Oh, dude, that's wrong. So wrong. So wrong.
Kyle's father's hands would make me feel inadequate. I don't think I could take that. I don't think I could take that during sex. Like, that would just ruin it. That would be horrible. Imagine me high-fiving this guy, and he's got these, like, 6-inch long sausage fingers that just envelop mine, and, like...
all sweaty and slimy.
Oh, yeah, Ian, you don't know. Kyle's father is this, like, he's pretty much two humans morphed into one. He's just this gigantic, enormous
I
mountain
got
of
a
a man.
picture of like, hey, Andre, give me 5 up high.
Yeah, I know, right? And then you, like, high five, and your whole arm and shoulder gets, like, pushed backwards. It's just totally not, like, even high five. And you know, yeah. Like, I need to be made less of a man during sex. How about I don't do any three-ways with Kyle's dad? Let's roll like that.
Hey, last time you guys high-fived anybody?
Last time, I don't know. I've been more of a fist bumper lately, to be honest with you.
I think there were some high fives at the paintball thing.
Were there? There were definitely some fist bumps. I was involved.
There were fist bumps.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back to like grade school for my last high five.
High five.
We had to give Wings a high five to come PAX Prime. You going to PAX Prime, Wings?
Yeah, in August. Yeah, I got to go.
All right.
I'm going to Columbus, Ohio not next week, but next weekend.
What's there?
MLG Columbus.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That'll be a big deal. Hey, Ian, you on?
I'm on.
All right, man. So tell me the story of how your parents met. I want to hear this thing again. Can you deliver like this?
Yeah, I think I could do that, man. As long as you guys can hear me. Can you hear me?
Let's do it.
So, my old man was in the military, and he got out, and he was sort of like a little loan shark. He had a little loan shark business going while he was in the military, and decided that cash was king. That's what he wanted to do.
Wait, all right.
So when he got...
Let's take a step back. How did your father become... We'll get to the marriage thing, I swear. New topic. Your father was a loan shark in the military?
Yeah, pretty much. So he was working in... when he went into the military, he met a bunch of guys on the way out, basically. And he's like, look, I got to figure what I'm doing, like, right now. I can either carry a gun or do something else, basically. And they're like, dude, if we had to pick what you're going to do as an enlisted guy, we would be a cook. My father was like, all right, I'm writing down, I'm asking for a cook. That's what I want to be. So he ended up going to a motor pool in France. And, there was a lot of guys coming in and out where they were moving from one place to another in France. And he would, some guys didn't drink. He'd sort of like trade them good food for whatever the coupons they had, whatever they were doing. Or they like for cigarettes or alcohol. He knew they weren't going to use it, so he basically traded them food for that. So he basically had the currency on the base, which was food, and then these tickets that you could use to buy stuff from the commissary.
Don't they get food for free?
He was doing food for officers. So he had sort of like access to a little bit better food, and he had access to it pretty much all the time.
Uh-huh.
So was he like selling alcohol as well?
He was selling the tickets. No, he wasn't selling and cash. So a lot of guys would just, drink their money away or drink their tickets away, and then he basically had cash. If somebody needed cash in between times where they didn't have any, he would lend it to them, but at a super high interest rate, like 50%. And he knew all the guys that knew where people were moving and when different groups of guys were getting sent out to different places. And he would say, look, if this guy's leaving, let me know, because he owes me a shitload of money. And he had guys that would strong arm for him, too. He had a whole little situation going. It was pretty good. So when he got and he had a car, he had a girlfriend in Paris, he had an apartment, all on this little business he had going on. Basically loan sharking money and buying tickets from people and supplying them with food. So when he got back from the military and he was on the GI Bill, he decided he wanted to do something that involved cash. And what he thought that he wanted to get into was cutting hair. And he met my mom there. My mom had won a beauty contest in Jamaica and was going to a beauty school in New York. And they were both doing a day where they were doing hair coloring. And my father dyed a lady's hair fucking purple. And then decided when she started screaming and saw her in the chair, he pushed her out the door in a wheelchair. He's like, fuck you. Pushed her out the door into the street, and then love sprung eternal from that. My mother was like the next chair over.
So he dyed a lady's hair purple. She was all pissed off.
It was one of those things where like if you wanted to come in for like a free or close to nothing haircut, you walk off the street and the person who's learning will cut your hair. And it was a day they were doing hair coloring, so people were coming in off the street and for like close to nothing were getting their hair cut and colored. And apparently at the time, coloring was pretty difficult. This is, early 60s. And my father didn't get it right. He dyed a lady's hair purple or green. I forgot what my mother said, but when he took the thing off her head, she was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "You don't like it? Fuck you!" and wheeled her out the door in the street.
In the chair, he just pushed her right the hell out the door.
Chair, yeah. Fucking door swung out, and she was on the sidewalk.
And this made your mother fall in love?
That was it, man. That was what tipped the scales right there. Yeah, like that's the guy I gotta have.
That's hilarious, man. Dude, did you guys hear Modern Warfare 3 brought the nuke back?
Sweet.
Sweet, you think? Good or bad?
Yeah.
I don't know.
As long as the fucking attack and search like Black Ops, it's a good thing. Nuke never bothered me unless it was in free for all.
It bothered you in free for all, huh?
Yeah, because of boosters.
Oh, right. Maybe if there was no nuke in free for all, then you'd be set.
Because there's no attack and search in Black Ops in free for all. Just do that, you're fine.
I want them to have like cage match. They just put all the boosters there. Stop bothering me.
I think we lost Kyle.
Oh, I'll work on that.
But yeah, the nuke was fun. The nuke was something that, yes, it promotes kill whoring like a mug. And if they bring the nuke back, is there word on stackable kill streaks yet?
No, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be stackable kill streaks.
Huh.
But because I remember Hutch saying something about it. Would you rather have stackable kill streaks or extra flares? And Hutch was unhappy that something about stackable kill streaks. Which stackable kill streaks is fine to me. I think it makes the game move faster. It makes the game more fun. It can't be any worse than Blackbird. Blackbird is one of the most broken kill streaks they've ever put on the game. Even though kill streaks are not stackable, it's way OP.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but it is an 8 kill streak. It's not that easy to get.
Yeah, so is Chopper Gunner, but it gets knocked out the sky and nobody cares.
Well, let me ask you this. If you get Blackbird, how many kills do you think that's worth?
4 or 5?
More. No,
More,
if you get Blackbird, it might be worth 4 or 5 to you.
Yeah, 4 or 5 for everybody on your team, so end up 25 kills, something like that.
That may be overdoing it, but the Blackbird builds in so many ways. Think about it this way: it could easily help you get a chopper gunner that you normally wouldn't get. It could do that. It could help your teammate get an counter UAV he wasn't going to get, a SAM turret he wasn't going to get. It's a huge boost to every.
It builds other Blackbirds on your team, so you have a continuous Blackbird.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's OP. Blackbird can never return ever.
It's back.
Yeah.
It's back. Oh hell! Predator Blackbird nuke.
Yeah. So this is Fisticuffs. Fisticuffs, everyone knows him. He's a longtime YouTuber. He apparently got some information on kill streaks and perks. And there's one called Global Hawk, which they're interpreting to mean Blackbird.
Oh man! If Blackbird's back with stackable kill streaks, my shit's gonna be sitting like Predator Blackbird AC-130 or something like that. Super easy.
Yeah, so stackable kill streaks are a tricky thing for me. Like, on one hand, it's kind of fun when things go well; they go super well. I just really enjoyed stackable kill streaks. I like that when I get to 5, getting to 7 is nearly automatic, and getting a Pavlo is there's a good chance of that too. And it's fun. On the other hand, some people, they play for kills instead of for wins. They
still do that now. It's just you still stack kill streaks. Blackbird, chopper gunner, attack dogs. As soon as you get a Blackbird, it stacks the other two.
Would Call of Duty be better if they didn't even track KD in objective games?
No, I wouldn't even play the shit.
Yeah, I mean, like you see guys playing headquarters wings. And they get like 1 cap over 4 games because they're just going.
It's because I don't play headquarters. Y'all know I don't play headquarters.
Yeah, wouldn't. I think if they didn't, they could track TDM in free for all.
And guess what? If KD did not exist in the game, I would still be playing for KD. It's the way I play. It's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy killing a lot of people with very little deaths. And camping. Kill streaks do not make campers. You know what makes campers? Players sucking at the game. You can take any game at any time, any era. You could take Brink, for example. Brink has half the team freaking computers, and there was campers. Camping against a computer. because they couldn't win gunfights any other way. That's what creates campers, not nukes, not stackable kill streaks.
I don't know about stackable kill streaks. Nukes definitely create campers too. When you have to get 25 kills without a death, then that's part of the deal, right? You have to be conservative.
Well, you also get public enemy number one as soon as somebody on the other team realizes what's happening.
Yeah.
How many times have you called somebody out like, he's close to the nuke, everybody get him?
If you know where he is, right? And
apparently he's killed like 20 people. Obviously somebody's called him out at that point.
You don't know where he is, though. Right? You don't know. If he's killed 20 people without dying, you probably don't know where he is. You need to camp to get a nuke. Right? It's part of the deal. That's what happens. Stackable kill streaks, I think they're a good thing. I think they made it more fun. I would love it if they didn't track KD at all in objective modes. KD is a... You know what? Here's what I would do. In free-for-all, they should track how many kills you get per game on average, because that's what free-for-all is, kills per game. In TDM, they should track your KD spread per game, right? That'd be really neat, Look, I can pull a 4 or 5 KD in TDM probably most of the time if I'm happy with going 4-1, right? Anybody could do that. If they only tracked your KD spread, then I'd be looking like a 3, which isn't all that impressive. If KD spread was the TDM thing that they tracked, if number of kills was the free-for-all thing they tracked, if in domination, for example, maybe they tracked probably just win-loss would be the best way to do that.
The only way to do what you're wanting them to do is take kill streaks completely out of objective as well.
Not kill streaks.
Yeah, kill streaks. Because look here, you thinking people are sitting there because of KD? No, people sit there because the game types are longer and they can get those big kill streaks and pwn ass. That's what people go to domination for, to get the big kill streaks. They know exactly where the guys are going to spawn at. They know exactly where they're going to be at. Know exactly where they aim to AC-130 to pound them over and over and over again. And you're never going to get rid of that unless you get rid of KD, stats, everything to do with stats, and kill streaks, to the point there's only win-loss. And in that point, you have to fix the system so every time it migrates, you don't give free losses out.
Nah, see, the thing is, a lot of guys play TDM in these objective modes, and they do it because it's easier to get it's easier to get, for example, an 11 kill streak when you're sitting there guarding B all game long. In TDM, you have to watch your flanks in a way that you don't in domination or in capture the flag. You can sit there and defend your home flag and get yourself an 11 kill streak fairly easily. In TDM, there's really the traffic patterns are different. It's harder.
You're talking I'm thinking of like this. You could sit there and struggle with B all game with middle of the road guys, or you could just go get really good strong players and their domination turns into TDM because the other team has no chance to get to the B flag because they can never win a gunfight. That's how my dominations work out.
I still think tracking your KD ratio in an objective game is just a bad idea. It leaves some guys getting carried or guys assigning themselves the Slayer role who shouldn't be Slayers. I would really like to see KD only tracked. Shucks, I don't know that KD is a really worthwhile stat anywhere. I'd like to see win-loss in objective games. I'd like to see
you can't factor win-loss in until they fix the problem where it gives free losses out.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'd like to see the KD spread for TDM should be the thing that everybody tracks, right? A guy that goes 25-20 is probably more valuable than a guy that goes 5-1.
And I like the fact that they show KD in objective game modes because it tells me who I can yell at.
That's not how you're supposed to play games. Is Kyle still here? Kyle?
Yes, sir.
All right, just checking on you. What do you think?
Continue.
Should they have KD in objective games?
No.
It would improve player behavior.
I think that they should, honestly, I kind of see through new eyes these days. I honestly feel like they should remove kill-death ratio completely from the game, but in all game modes, I think stat tracking is a bit silly, and it promotes a lot of bad behavior and doesn't promote, and it promotes more bad behavior than it does good behavior. And I think at the end of the day, more people would be happy without it than would be happy with it. And that's the goal as a game developer. They can't listen to the hardcore crowd. They can't listen to the casual crowd. They've got to meet somewhere in between to make the maximum amount of people happy. And I think removing all stats from the game would make more people happy than leaving them in there in the long run. In the long run,
but in the long run, the hardcore crowd would lose interest in the game, and you'd lose a lot of your fall off.
So in Halo, your ranking, right? Like I think everyone would like to be a level 50 Halo player. And the way to do that is through win-loss. And while I'm not a huge Halo guy, my observation has been that even strangers have a desire to work together and win games. Whereas in Call of Duty, people would just sit on top of buildings and go for kills.
Well, here, with this being said, if Call of Duty had no stats whatsoever, you scrubs out there in Radio Land, you're still going to get AC 130 pounded by me because I'm still going to camp in objective game mode, even if it's not recorded. Because
Wait a minute,
I know
I thought
can
you said
keep you off
campers
those
were
flags.
campers because they weren't good. Didn't you just
You're
say
right.
that?
I'm a camper because my internet connection is not good.
Okay, all right. So I got a topic for Kyle. Kyle,
Okay.
when you shoot guns, you say you have the magic ability to close your ears.
I do.
Can you tell us more about how you close your ears?
I'm trying to think of like. All right, do you know? And I know people are. I'm not even looking at the stream, but I know they are already fucking with me. You know how you like pop your ears when like you're changing elevation, like you yawn and you get that feeling of your ears like adjusting.
Well, like you hold your nose and you kind of pressurize.
Kind of like that. It's sort of like that. All I know is that when I do it, I can't hear myself talking anymore. I can only hear the vibration that my mouth is making. I can literally like, I literally think that I'm squeezing my ear ducts closed or in some way. That or maybe putting pressure on the surrounding tissue that's around my eardrums and causing them not to vibrate anymore. Something like that. It feels like I'm flexing a muscle that's inside of my head. Some of you are like, that's your brain. But seriously, I don't know how to describe it, but I do this thing. I guess it's kind of akin to some people can wiggle their ears and some can't. And at the end of the day, like, sounds are much, much lower. It's not as good as earmuffs, but I don't have any hearing damage, and I have shot some crazy, crazy shit without any hearing protection.
I heard you had some hearing damage.
What?
Well played.
I know.
The rumor is, you're on one story, like second story of the house, listening to a headset, and people downstairs can listen too.
Oh, now let me just say this: when I listen to music or when I'm watching a movie, I like it loud as fuck, and that has nothing to do with like me like not being able to hear it when it's low. I just like to feel the bass and like have it rocking. Like lately I've been addicted to the Lonely Island. I'm the Alpha.
Yes. You listen to that repeatedly? That
This
stupid
is
song?
the tale of Tony Montana. Yeah, that. I love that. I love that fucking song, and I have listened to it dozens and dozens of times, and it's fucking awesome.
Nice. So, when you close your ears, do you like move your jaw or just sort of clench it, or?
No, it doesn't have anything to do with my jaw. It's literally I feel it behind like where my ears sit on my head. I seriously cannot explain it. It's like flexing a muscle, but when I do it, like I'm doing it right now, and I seriously can barely hear my own voice.
Huh. There is a guy in the stream who claims he can also close his ears. Ian, have you ever heard of anything like this?
I don't think Ian's heard of his mic.
No, I heard a little
wrong.
bit of what Ian said. And
That's because he wasn't talking.
no, Ian said something. He said, He sounded like if you've ever seen the Lonely Island song Shy Ronnie, he sounded a little bit like Shy Ronnie. You guys are typing some mean shit in the comment box, and I don't know if it's the joking fuck files or the mean ones, and it's hurting my feelings. So you can just
I let it pass over my head, just like the kids that say they're better than me. Yeah, that's why I'm always at the top, and you're always somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, Kyle, I have a lot of confidence that these guys love you, man. Can you guys write "Love Kyle" in the stream?
And there's a lot of fuck.
If you're a lady.
There we go. We're getting "Love Kyles," "Sex
cool.
Kyles."
All this love, Kyle. You got to bring the condoms because that shit's getting expensive.
Can we switch away from gaming and talk about some new releases and movies and some movies that we've seen?
Yep, I've got a couple topics too, though. You want to go to movies, Kyle? Are you down for that, or?
I don't care. All I know is I watched the King's Speech the other day and it was fucking awesome.
I got that on Blu-ray and it didn't work on my DVD or my Blu-ray player.
I watched it on icefilms.info, which is my favorite streaming mega uploadish type site where you can steal movies from people who.
Painkiller Already does not endorse the piracy of movies or any form of nature.
All right, so and the King's Speech, what is it about?
It's about King George VI, or he would become King George VI. He was the Duke of York. Basically, it's during World War. Just broad strokes. Just prior to World War II, the King of England died. He had two sons. One of them was a dumbass who was infatuated with this American woman who'd been twice divorced and therefore could not be queen. And the other son, who's the main character in the movie, stammered or stuttered, as we would call it. And it's about his speech therapy. This sounds incredibly boring, but seriously, if you like good acting, you'll really enjoy it. It's not a Michael Bay movie. There are no explosions, but it's really well acted, and it's a great story. And
what are you talking about? No explosions?
Yeah, exactly. Helen Bonham Carter. I think I got her name right.
The chick from Fight Club.
The chick from Fight Club and pretty much everything that
has a druggie in it.
Yeah, what's that director who did Edward Scissorhands and all those other movies?
Burton.
Yeah, I think that's his wife. I want to say, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's his wife. She does a really good job in it. All the actors do a really good job in it. It's a great story, and it's completely true because I remember hearing the other half of that story about the son who became king, and he's the only king of England who ever abdicated the throne because he wanted to be with this Simpson woman who was from America, who had been divorced twice, and it's a really shady deal with her. She had connections to the Nazis, and it's an interesting story on all sides.
When I was in college, this is before the internet was really widespread. I'm sure it existed. It existed in like the 60s, but it wasn't anything like the internet of today. And, but when I was in college, so what I'm trying to say is there was no ready access to porn. But, I went to like someone else's dorm room and there was a screening of Edward Penis Hands. And it was hilarious. His hands, instead of being scissors, were penises. And at the end of, at the end of his hands, he like clipped things up, and there were like feathers flying through the air or something like that. They did a similar thing with like 10 money shots flying through the air. Yeah, it's burned into my head. Yeah, college. Woo.
Internet in the 60s?
They did. Ian, do you know when the internet was invented? I think it was in it was called the ARPANET or something like that. It was a military project, and it started in the 60s. Yeah, there's something wrong. Ian's virtually not a guest anymore. His mic doesn't work at all. But yeah, I think it was called the ARPANET or DARPA or something like that, and that's when it first started. But of course,
DARPA,
it wasn't. Really...
Isn't that the thing from
Lost?
Lost?
I got fooled by the stream.
Hey, how much schooling does Ian have to go through to be a Cisco tech?
Tons, I'm sure. It was ARPA, no D. That's the deal. I'm sure that's what he said.
I'm just trying to say, because this is back when a floppy disk and computers took up whole rooms, right?
It started in the 50s. In the 50s and early 60s, the internet was first started. But it didn't really become the internet that we know until the mid-90s.
I wonder if they traded porn in the 50s.
Yeah, we did.
Internet didn't catch on to the 90s, right? Like the early 90s?
Yeah, that's when browsers kind of took off, like graphical browsers. And then from there, the internet just started skyrocketing. Can we get an Ashley update? What's new with her?
I go tomorrow to do the video where we hand her the checks.
Really? So how much did you raise?
$8,000.
Nice, man. That's huge. So that she'll get a check for $8,000?
She'll get a check for $8,000, and I'm donating the other $2,000.
And you're donating $2,000 on your own?
Yep.
Man, I saw some jackass on the internet. The internet has no shortages of jackasses saying Wings is only doing this for the way that it helps him or whatever. And it's like, dude, you don't get that. Wings, I knew you were giving $2,000 out of your own pocket. That was a really generous thing to do, man. That was really cool.
Well, it's more about keeping my word. I promised her I'd get her the money, and I wanted to get it by the end of the school, and donations kind of like slowed down. And, I pretty much used every, attachment that I had, like every cord I could pull, every phone I could get to get the video more in other people's eyes. I'm like, well, I'd rather her have the money than me go back on my word, because I promised her the money. So I'll donate the $2,000.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I'd like to see some updates to see, if she has any improvements from the therapy. Like, that would be neat to see too. Real change in life.
I actually planned on doing that. I actually plan on going down in Charleston to visit her when she's doing her therapy. So you'll probably get to see her in the actual bariatric chamber and the whole nine.
Wow, man. That'll be neat.
Hopefully between this and the barbecue we had, we'll raise enough money to get her a new chair as well.
She needs a new wheelchair?
Yeah, she has an electric wheelchair that broke down, and like in the video, she had an old standard hospital wheelchair, so she can't move on her own anymore because she can't physically move the chair. She has to have her helper do it. So hopefully we raise enough money to get her van, get her treatment paid for, get her food, whatever, and get her a new chair. So hopefully all that works.
You want to get her a van too?
Yeah, that's part of the $10,000 I said, because the $10,000, it's $5,000 for the treatment. The other $5,000 is to rent a hotel while they're down there and rent a van capable of, so she can travel. Because you got to have a handicap accessible van.
Huh?
And isn't that
like crazy expensive?
It is crazy expensive. That's why we raised $10,000. Because this is only for a month. This is 1 month worth of treatment.
Wow, man. That's good for you, man. Well done.
Because the government doesn't consider her disabled. They get no help.
What?
They get
she
no
has
help.
cerebral palsy, right?
Right.
Who doesn't consider that disabled?
She don't get no check. Her mother gets no help. Gets no aid. Doesn't even get Medicare. So yeah. I don't know the inner workings of her life. All I know is what I've been told.
Yeah.
And they live in a pretty shabby place. I've seen it, and they don't want it on video, so I can't show that.
Huh.
So, because what happened is, her caretaker is her grandmother. Her mother, when she realized she had cerebral palsy, basically dropped her off at her grandmother's and left the state. So she left her on her own, and then her husband, he got sick because he's in his 80s now, and he's on oxygen, and he had to quit work. He worked at Builder's First Source, and that really put him in a bind because all she had was her bus driving job, which is about $19,000 a year conservatively, and that gets spread out through the entire year because they take 3 months off in the middle when school's out, and they pay them during that 3 months, so they kind of thin the checks out through the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
They get paid a salary, so they have hardly any income coming in. So I figured I'd step in and see what I could do to help. I mean, worst comes to worst, I help somebody at the end of the day. Because, you'll earn and lose money throughout your entire life. It's what you do with your money when you have it is what defines you as a person. I mean, I could go take that $2,000 and buy like some sound system that I might sell later for $300, or I could take that $2,000 and give it to somebody and see a physical change in somebody's life and have a memory that will last me longer than a sound system. That's the way I'm putting it out there.
Good deal, man. Wings of Redemption for the win.
So what else we got on the? Oh, can we go to the movies now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I watched. I told you I watched The King's Speech. I definitely liked that. I also watched The Right with Anthony Hopkins, where he's possessed by the devil or whatever, and that was a huge fucking letdown. And then I watched The Mechanic, which is the movie where what's the bald British guy who's like the new action star? Jason Statham.
By the way, that's a Charles Bronson remake, people.
All right, and then that was a huge letdown for me too. I do like I like his co-star better than I like him, honestly. He was the guy from Pandorum, 310 to Yuma, and 30 Days of Night. Those are the three that I can remember him from.
Did you see the original, Kyle?
I did not. Also, Hello, Grace. I know you're listening.
Well, tell me later in the Skype chat how the ending of that movie happens.
All right, I'll do that. How the ending of The Mechanic happens?
Yeah, I want to see if it stays true to the original.
Okay.
Kyle has all these beastly movies and he's making me feel inadequate because, well, I'll just say it. I've been getting into Glee, the TV show.
What a faggot. Dude.
Say, those kids are talented.
You go get some decoration, Woody?
Yeah, man. I watch and I'm like, I think they're really singing. Now they're lip syncing, obviously, in the show, but those are the actual actors' voices, and I'm just, oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Woody. I'm pretty sure, and like I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said faggot. That's a pretty harsh word. I don't like using that word. But seriously, that is a show that's gotta be, its main demographic has to be 14-year-old girls and young adolescent homosexual boys who are trying to find a place in life.
And 7,000
Woody's Gamertag.
Yeah. Somebody in the stream wrote,
the cheerleading squad next
Woody,
year.
go sit in the corner and think about what you've done wrong. Yeah, dude, Glee cracks me up. Now, Netflix only has, 18 shows or something like that online, so I'm nearly done. But, yeah, I've just been watching Glee.
You know what's funny? A teenage girl literally just messaged me and goes, "I like Glee," sad face. Okay, but she says, "I know grown women who like Glee as well." So that's okay, Woody. So now, now you watch a show that's for grown women, young girls, and adolescent homosexual boys trying to adjust.
Buddy, here, you want to get some man points back? Go ahead and turn your Netflix on tonight and watch Swamp People.
Swamp People? Is it good?
Yeah, it's about catching gators in Louisiana.
That sounds boring. I tried to watch that one about exterminators, and it was lame, man.
It's good. It's a good show.
They have reality shows. Do not know what the fuck they're doing these. You know who needs a reality show? Fucking Epic Mealtime. Epic Mealtime. I was thinking about this today. They either need to be on National Geographic, the Food Network, or the Travel Channel. Imagine Harley traveling to weird corners of the world. And them putting him in the household of a family who had no idea what Epic Mealtime is, and him cooking a traditional dish but making it epic. Is that not a fucking awesome show? Send that motherfucker to Thailand and let him cook a baby. That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see.
Man, I would like to see YouTube used more as a talent source. I swear, advertisers and TV networks, they don't understand the talent pool that comes out of YouTube. I'm not really talking about me. But FPS Russia, Epic Mealtime, The Storm, these guys could get recognized and picked up and do huge things. The time of finding rock bands by going from club to club is over.
They're on YouTube now, man. There's some great talent on YouTube.
Yeah, there's amazing talent on YouTube. If guys were to pick them up and do something with them, it would be really, really cool.
Listen, hater, we're going to get a bacon wrapped cat today on Epic Mealtime.
Dude, I think he had some serious balls in the last episode of Epic Mealtime. For those of you who didn't see, it was called Super Mutant Ninja Turtle Soup. And they cooked turtles and made a Ninja Turtle soup. And they got a lot of hate for that, and they had to know it was coming. But here's the thing, I saw some of the most ignorant comments in the comment box. Somebody said something like, "Turtles are endangered." Dude, there was a huge pile of them in the fucking grocery store sitting there already dead. How could you hate on that? And they ate them, and people are always talking about how they're wasting food. I bet they throw it away. I don't
think they do.
They don't.
Yeah.
I've talked to Harley about this. They eat it all.
They eat that ridiculous stuff. Food. I want to see, has there been any change in their bodies since the show started?
Yes, Harley has gained a little weight. I watched their first video tonight, earlier tonight, or earlier today, I guess I should say. And I think he's gained a little weight. But not as much as you would think, because I'm sure I don't have any confirmation. I don't have any confirmation on this, but I guarantee there have been epic meals that they just didn't use, but they ate them. I bet they ate them.
What do you? You mean didn't use on the channel?
Yeah.
Man,
what happened to us
that fast food lasagna? That was crazy. What they use 15 Wendy's burgers, 15 McDonald's burgers, 15 Burger King burgers, 15 something else burgers, and it was insane. Oh, then of course a layer of bacon between each one. How many calories did it have? 45,000 or 65,000 calories? That was
what happened to us going to go eat an epic meal?
I bet the invitation's still open if you want to go to Canada.
Yeah, I'm down. Eat an epic meal? I'd want a burger, son. I couldn't eat no turtles.
If you You won't have to go that far. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Okay.
I'm down for an epic meal.
Yeah, you keep me in mind. I'd like to know more.
I want some barbecue injected.
I got a question for Kyle and for Wings. What would be different? How would your life be different right now if you had never done YouTube commentaries?
We've answered this one before, but I'll do it again.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'd probably be working some crappy ass factory job. I wouldn't be driving what I'm driving right now. I'd probably still be driving the burgundy truck. I'd probably be hating life, and I'd probably never got back into the dating pool.
You think? No. Let's say that you got into this. You had your factory job. You'd be up. You'd be about. I mean, you were thinner when you left your last job, right? So the gaming started off as a dark period.
Yeah, the gaming started off as a dark period, but the fact is, through having a job that I have pretty much access to any time of the day, I can pretty much I work around what I want to do, and with that, it gives you confidence. And the money is one thing, but it's just the exposure, being able to talk to people, is what I'm actually talking about. I've become more of a public speaker. I've become more sociable. I've become easier to get around. I've been able to read people better. And I've had to deal with getting thicker skin and actually blowing stuff off. It just makes you all around better, easier person to be around, because you can communicate so easily with people, and you understand people because you see people from all walks of life. You see time and time again people doing that struggle to try to make it on something. You see people going to work. You see how different people react to you, and you see how different people live. And all this happens. These are just experiences I would not have working a job that I hated, because I hated working that factory job. No matter how much more movement you have, working in a factory sucks. Anybody that tells you different is a liar. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a cool thing. Cal, how would you be different if you didn't do commentaries?
I'd still be working in the car business and not be able to really travel like I want. Like, as of now, like, I'm traveling more than I want. So, like, just so far this year, twice to Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston, Tennessee twice, Florida, and like, just in the next month or two, it's Tennessee twice again, Kentucky, Idaho, Colorado, Florida twice,
Think about all the
LA,
people we've met,
New York.
that we would probably not be able to meet working our regular jobs.
Yeah, it's really nice because I don't know, you get to do a lot of crazy stuff in my situation. Get to meet a lot of people that you wouldn't normally get to meet. I'm getting to go on like this crazy fishing trip with like a couple of retired generals, like king marlin fishing or something. Apparently they're like 350 to 500 pounds. It's like a 3-day fishing trip.
Where?
I have no idea. I want to say Florida. It's like an all expense. That basically, it was described to me. They put you on a boat. They put the bait on the rod, cast it, and hand it to you, and then you do the reeling, and they do everything else.
Yeah, I've been on a trip like that. They handle everything up to hooking the fish, and then they hand a hook fish over to you, and you try and reel it in. And that's your job on the thing. And then then they clean it and such if you're going to eat it afterwards. With marlin, oftentimes they let it go, but if you catch like mahi or something like that, then they'll take it back and clean it for you.
And yes, for all those of you who keep spamming it, I know I was on G4 today, and I know that Phil DeFranco mentioned me.
No,
I appreciate you guys following. It's awesome.
YouTube's been cool for me too. Like one of the things I value the most, I think, is the people that I've met. Like it's a really cool thing. I've traveled for a couple events. I've met new people. I have online friends I spend a lot of time with, actually. And that's pretty neat. If it wasn't for that, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd probably be still off-roading as much as I used to. And I've almost stopped on that. I need to kick it back up again. I don't know. Maybe I'd have another side business by now. I have a tendency of just collecting as much work as I can handle.
Do you want to talk about the future paintball trip, Mr. Woodrow?
Yeah, so It's scheduled for what, June 23rd through 26th? Does that sound right to you?
Dude, I get dates thrown left and right. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I have it right. I have it right. So it's a tentative date, June 23rd through 26th. We're going to go back there. And I guess I was going to say I'm going to pwn some noobs, but I'm going to avoid getting pwned like the noob I actually am. I think.
Seriously, dude, when we go back again, it's going to be a completely different experience, and it's going to be so much. Not that what we did wasn't fun. This is going to be one of those. Basically, this is going to be like we'll have however many people show up. They'll be set up at picnic tables, and we'll do our we'll set up the same way we did last time. We'll be inside an air-conditioned building, get our shit together. We'll have sodas and everything. And then, we'll get our paint, get our gear, go out, we'll play 2 or 3 games, and then repeat that process. We'll go in for like 5 minutes, re-kit up, and then do it again. And do that pretty much all day. And it's not one of those things...
I would love that.
It's not that situation where you have to walk miles and miles. Like, seriously, they could put me and you on a golf cart, and we could just kind of like... Because, I mean, it sounds kind of like a bitch move, but because there's, there might be 200 or 300 people there. But think about it, like those 200 or 300 people don't have to play every game. We do. We're, let's face it, they're coming there to, to play with us, and we have to be in every single game. I was in every single game we played last time, and we played 8 hours a day for 2 days in a row, and it was 28 degrees. I keep repeating this. It's like one of those things, like I walked through the snow to school 10 miles, but seriously, it was fucking snowing, 28 degrees. And I am not in awesome running shape, but I played in every single game all day for the fucking 2 days, and my legs were dead. So a big part of that is the walking to and from the fields. But we can get on Bedlam and run that shit all day if we want, which is the coolest field anyway.
Bedlam is incredible. There was some footage of it in my video that I up today. They built a town. They built like a fake town. And it has all these real cars, and there's real paved streets with real sidewalks. And it's like, dude, it's like favela. It's like playing favela in real life with paintballs. It's the coolest thing. I really, really liked it.
So did you run into any real campers?
Yes. Oh, for sure, dude. So paintball has people fussed at me in my comments from here, from time to time for comparing paintball to Call of Duty, but it is so much like Call of Duty. A lot of the things a lot of the tactics that from Call of Duty, like moving from cover to cover, limiting the exposure, knowing which directions they're coming from, popping in and out, those things that you do in Call of Duty apply to real life paintball as well. And just like Call of Duty, dying isn't the worst thing in the world. So if you can get a quad and die, you're fine, right? That was good, as opposed to a military engagement where you'd probably camp your butt off. But so there were campers. There were people who would sit there at the back of the map and just want to live for as long as they can. And Kyle mentioned the penalty for dying in paintball. A lot of guys asked about this in the games that we played last weekend. Was that you had to walk back to this area they called the hospital, and then the hospital had these windows, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, where you could respawn. It was the walk. There was a 15-minute walk back to the hospital, and then a 15-minute walk back to the the battlefield, I'll call it, where the engagements are happening. And that's a bit of work, to be honest with you, and you're of course out of the game for a while. That was why I didn't want to die. It wasn't the sting of a paintball. It was the test, the endurance of walking back there, and it's warm, and you're wearing a lot of clothes and stuff like that. So
fuck that. I had a cool jersey, but I took that thing off after the first day and just wore a fucking t-shirt. And seriously, when we go back, I'm gonna wear basketball shorts, a t-shirt, and knee pad.
I don't think you can wear shorts.
I can if it's my event.
You're like, Woody, perhaps you don't understand. I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's I'm not an arrogant fuck or anything, but if we're there for me, I'm not wearing no fucking pants. It's fucking hot.
I'll probably dress up like a normal paintball player. What was I gonna say? Everyone was like, FPS Rush is such a badass. He's wearing a t-shirt, and I didn't call you out, but I'm like, actually, he didn't like the heat.
Yeah. It's
that
fucking
was
hot. It's fucking hot out there. Seriously, when we would go back in after, I especially I had a hard time keeping up with the group and Eric who had the camera, but I started walking at one point, and I literally walked for half an hour through the woods before I found people, and I had walked so far I was on the other team's side of the map, and the teams have 600 people on them, so you'd walk up behind 6 or 7 people who expected you to be on their team, and you just shoot them all in the back. It was fucking awesome.
Didn't they call you out? Like you said, you got like a 27 kill streak. How did that happen?
I just kept walking up behind people, and there would be groups of 5. Like I walked up behind a hospital or something, which is basically you get shot and you like wave your card over a post and you're healed or something like that. I don't know how it works, but there's just like 6 or 8 people like milling around there, and like 2 of them looked right at me. It was a guy and a girl like hanging out talking. They look right at me, and I go, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And they go, "Hey, not too much." And they walk away from me. Like I just walk up behind and put my hand on the guy's shoulder. I go, "You're out." Put my hand on the girl's shoulder. Go, "You're out." And then I shoot all 6 of their buddies in the back and run away. Out in the woods like a fucking, I don't know, Viet Cong or something. And I did that 3 or 4 times, and I walked so far that I got to their spawn. Like their spawn is basically where the bus drops them off onto the map. And, like, I was there waiting on them to get off the fucking bus, hiding in the woods. And they were not happy. I literally had, like, 30 or 40 people shooting at me, but they're going into the woods, and I would just keep repositioning. But finally, they shot me many, many times in the back.
It's funny, you know, the tactics that you kind of know intuitively, you see why they're so important. Like, there was a point where I was shooting into the woods, and they were shooting out of the woods, and some guy yells at me. He's like, you know, push forward, you know, don't let them shoot from the tree line while you're out in the open. And it's like, yeah, this is like real military stuff right here. This is like, I can totally see how they were controlling the engagement, right? They were in the woods. I could barely see a thing. And I'm behind like, one of those gigantic spools that like AT&T might buy fiber optic cable on. Like, you know, they're 4 feet tall. And, anyway, paintball was awesome. It's happening again almost exactly a month from now. And, I look forward to it. And it's going to be a different kind of event. Like the last one had 1,500 people. So, there were a lot of people there, you know, who weren't there for us. The next one is going to be a lot more, you know, meet your commentator type thing. You know, we're going to be hanging out together. It should be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. But I mean, I think we'll get a pretty good turnout because, like last time I did it, like I said, we had 150 or so people. So I think if we really push it, make a couple videos about it, and just mention it, it's going to be good. I mean, those of you who are listening who have no idea what we're talking about, we're going to be in.
So CPX Sports, right? Yeah. The URL is cpxsports.com. I'm saying like Charlie Potato X-Ray Sports, and it's outside Chicago in a town called Juliet or something close to that, Joliet, and then that's where it'll be. It's a pretty cool thing. I'll do some videos about it to let you guys know. I think tomorrow the date gets locked in, but as it is now, they're talking about like 23rd through 26th, and like. Last weekend I went paintballing. It was my first time, and it was amazing. It might be one of the best weekends I've had in the last 10 years or something. Like I still look back and think it was just a really, really good time. I totally loved it, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be able to get you a paintball gun. I already took a look at the gun you're getting. It's pretty nice.
I heard it was pink.
It's pink. It is very, very pink.
That's a different kind of badass, man. I'm not scared. So yeah, man, paintballing should be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
Do we still have a guest?
He's not talking because his mic hasn't worked. Let me just go through. We've got a couple minutes left. What did you do? Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say we're going to get you. I think it'll be the same gun that you used of mine. That gun of mine you borrowed.
Yeah. So a lot of guys asked about the gun that I used in paintball. I'll try not to drag on too long, but it's called an Empire Axe. It was a great gun. I used it all weekend. The gun. Everything that went wrong all weekend was my fault, not an equipment malfunction. And that's really all I asked for. Every time I pulled the trigger, it shot. It was perfect. It was all good. So yeah, I would love to get one like that again.
How much money investment is it to get out there?
You know, I'm going to look into that and get it right for, for when I tell people about the event. You don't really need to buy much in terms of special clothes. You can rent everything. And I don't know. What do you think a weekend would cost you, Kyle? Is starting at like $150, $200?
It really depends on your play style. If you're coming there with like nothing but like what you would go out with, like if you're coming there with jeans and a t-shirt, no gun, no paint, no air, nothing, I think the paint's probably like $75 a case. That's going to last you the entire time if you're using a rental gun. The gun itself is probably like $20. You can get out of there for less than $200 for a weekend. Seriously, if you're using a rental gun, and you're playing the kind of games that we're going to be playing.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive.
The reason Kyle mentions the rental gun is that like the higher end guns can shoot a lot of paint, and it means you have to buy more paint. Whereas the rental guns, it's mechanical, and they. I really don't think the rate of fire is a big deal, but it saves you money, that's for sure.
Yeah, the gun that Woody was using was shooting close to 20 balls per second. The gun that I was using I had it capped at 16 balls per second, and I was doing every bit of that. So, shooting fast. And it's a lot of money, when you consider, $60 to $80 for 2,000 rounds. It adds up when you're shooting 20 times a second.
So, yeah, I'm looking to see if we crash their website. I don't know if it's crashed.
It's a well-built site. It should be fine. I've never crashed it.
It's slow.
Yeah, I've slowed it, but I've never crashed it.
Yeah, that's where it is right now. We slowed it. So, let's see if we can crash it.
Oh man.
Yep, but yeah, I'm totally looking forward to that.
You guys want to talk about the games challenge?
What games challenge?
You guys are probably aware.
Is this the Game 3? Oh yeah, the Game 360. I want in on that. I told him I wanted in, and but I don't know if he wants me. Right? Do you want me to kick it off, or I just started running with it?
It's good. Keep running with it.
All right. So here's the deal. There are a couple guys among YouTube commentators who sort of battle for this position as best player on YouTube, right? I'm not one of those guys. I know that, right? No one really says, like, I don't know, Woody or Sandy Ravage. It's one of them, right? I get that. But they're going to take some of the major YouTubers, typically the guys that are in that conversation, like maybe a Wings, maybe a Sandy, maybe a Socrates, Ronaldinho. The Game 360 has had a ton of amazing scores. X-Jaws maybe can be in that conversation. Whoever those guys are, and do a big free-for-all. If there's room for me, I'd like to join it. If there's not room for me, my feelings aren't hurt. I know that I'm not Ronaldinho, right? But I'll go in there and throw my hat in the ring. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe lightning will strike. NASA One is saying he's the best. Okay, so those guys who were in the conversation of who's the best player. Oh, XCal. They want to do a free for all.
Junkyard.
Junkyard.
Let me save you time. XCal is the best YouTube player out there. Period.
Really? I don't know.
That's straight.
What about Xsocrates? Hastro.
Here's the reason why. Here is the reason why. XCal generally plays by himself. He generally does well with an assortment of different weapons.
Nope.
And he does.
XCal plays with one other player.
Which
is the easiest way to get good games, right?
He does. But the fact is,
I have a hard time. If you play with 5 strong guys, it is a challenge to have a standout game. It really is.
I have them all the time. It's not that much challenge.
No, dude. If you were to play with 5 super guys, it would be a challenge to get a standout game.
You want to challenge me? You give me 5 super guys, I'll put 5 videos a day out of super scores.
No, you won't.
Because it's that easier to spawn trap.
It sucks, man. Especially if it's TDM, right? In Domination, there's an unlimited amount of kills. But
you need to go back and look at every TDM I've ever posted. Every one of them's with a team.
I don't doubt that, but I'm talking about a super team, right? If you had XCal, Sandy, Ronaldinho, etc. on your team, you guys would all end up with like 12 kills.
I mean, Dr. Chiz is in the thing. He knows I play with stacked players all the time. It's not that hard. XCal is the best because he does it consistently with bad players, and he wins with bad players. Yeah, every now and then he'll play with 1 or 2 other guys, which is just as easy, but he will consistently do well with a large array of guns. Yet most of the people that are challenging for this so-and-so best player on Call of Duty mainly play Ground War, and they mainly just run flanks. And they have a very good connection. They always pull host. And Ground War, big scores, don't mean shit. Let me tell you this. I'm more impressed with a 70-kill domination 6v6 than I am 120-kill domination on Ground War. Mainly because once you get a chopper gunner that does well and a gunship that does well back-to-back, you have 60 kills.
Yep. So let me get a chance to respond to the stream. Some of these guys are emotionally retarded, and they seem to think that I don't think XCal's good. I have mentioned that XCal is a beast in like 3 dozen videos by now. He's usually my example of strong players. But what I was saying was that I watched most of his live comms, and he played with one other guy. And I think that is, if you want to play a 6-on-6 game, playing with one teammate, for me anyway, is when I've had the best results in getting those standout games. When it's like me and T-Mart or me and Onslaught and 4 guys that we don't know, that is when I have the easiest time getting, extra good scores. So
here's another thing that XCal shines harder than Marka J or Game 360. His favorite weapon is the Akimbo Scorpion.
Yeah, the XCal uses bad weapons, and that's amazing. Like, he's a great player, and one of the things you brought up was how much the other guys play Ground War, and that's a really, really strong point. In Ground War, when things start going your way and you work your way up to a powerful kill streak, then all of a sudden you have these ridiculously inflated scores. When things go well for you in a 6v6 Dom game, you getting 30, 40 kills. To get like a 70, or like in the case of the Game 360, 100, like that's really good. I don't mean to knock that, but Ground War scores, you run flanks, you find more people, it's nice. I have a hard time doing well in smaller games with an SMG because I don't always get the engagements I want at the pace I need them to get a good score. I can stay inside buildings in a 9v9 and get plenty of action. In a 6v6, you don't. And you find yourself with an SMG out in the open, which, some guys beast with, but I struggle with.
I think the best thing that should be done is one of those Game Dunzo servers that are like, that way connection is not an issue. That, or we just literally, bad, because that can be arranged.
The only way to do this is like a quarterback challenge.
No, because you can't recreate that.
You ever see like a quarterback challenge? All right,
but that can't be recreated fairly for all the players.
3 guys stand around, and they all know where they're at. They have to run from point A to point B and be able to kill 3 people and judge them by the time. That's the only way you can judge this, because overall, this is pointless.
I'm much higher on Kyle's Game Dunzo free-for-all idea. I think that would be really
Free-for-all
cool.
doesn't mean shit. What does free-for-all build you when you got to play a team-based game, which is 80% of the playlist?
Dude, you're trying to figure out who's the best, who wins gunfights, and free-for-all does that.
Gunfights are 10% of a good player.
I disagree. We're talking about gunfight is the beginning. If you can't operate the gun, then you're not going to be able to play the game.
But I can prove you wrong. I could take a guy who can not shoot worth a shit and make him a 2KD player.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Then all right, then do it. Find me a player who has.
All right.
Who
wants to volunteer? That's under 2KD right now. Who has under 15% accuracy? Send me a message on Xbox Live. You give me 1 week, I will turn you into a 2KD player without ever talking about your gun skill.
I look forward to this thing. I look forward to it. You know what, though? I'll lay out this prediction. XCal won't do it.
But let's get. I don't think he will either, unless we maybe lay some money down.
Let me
get back to how I think this should be done. I think it should be done on as big a stage as possible, and I don't really know what that would be, but it would be best of 3 free-for-alls, 6-player. How many is in a standard free-for-all? Is it 8?
8.
I'm thinking you do it with 6. I think you should pick 6 people plus your bot, who is the quote-unquote host. Pick your 6 best players. Put up a Facebook voting thingy on obviously Facebook to figure out, so that way it's impartial. There's no bullshit. Nobody's saying, "Oh, you should have picked this guy. It's only because you got 40 subscribers." No, do it on Facebook. That way, you people who are going to be watching it or voting on it, and see if you can get. I mean, the problem is a lot of the players that we think of as some of the best are kind of like hermits and are kind of anti-social. So I don't know
we're
if
talking about best YouTuber, right? Like I don't think we're going for best player in the world. If you're going for best player in the world, excuse me, then I think then I think you want to go to like the MLG tournament in Columbus and pick.
I'd say the best player in the world too, Stainville.
But okay. I want to know who the best player commentators.
Yes,
and that,
yes,
therefore
exactly.
I'm talking about guys that are in our original circle that aren't guys who were pro gamers who are now breaking into commentary. I don't begrudge those guys at all. I love Hastro and all those guys, but I'm talking about our traditional guys like Excal, Sandy Ravage. A lot of you keep saying Socrates, but Socrates is going to boot camp in like a week. He's going to the Air Force. He's going to get to play with UAVs for reals.
Socrates though would have qualified in my mind, and the Game 360, right? He belongs in there too. He was in commentary March Madness, by the way. Just guys who are YouTubers, and I like to see him go. I'd like to compete. C-Nanners, right? We need to throw C-Nanners in there. We haven't.
He will never compete. Come on now.
I think you're right. But I think that he deserves an invitation. I would love to see C-Nanners go in there and see what he could do. And, to run at it. I look forward to this. I like the free-for-all with a Game Dunzo server idea. I think that'd be really cool.
And some of the best players that people don't realize, Sam 5000
that was my second pick, Sam 5000.
The stream's been talking about him. Sam 5000, some guys don't. A lot of the YouTubers know who's who, right? Like I've played with a lot of these guys that and Sam 5000 amongst YouTubers is known as being awesome, right? He is really, really good. One thing that I think is going to be a problem for him though is the dedicated server, great upload, fantastic. It's still in Texas. He's going to be on a 2-bar, I think, or a 3-bar. There's only so much you can do about the speed of light. So he would be at a disadvantage. But yeah, he definitely, he's good enough. He's good enough to be in that conversation of best players. I just don't think that he can do well in the competition because of his connection. But I hope that this takes off. I'd like to live stream it right here. I'd be down for that.
I'm not even going to get in it because I know I'm not the best. Why waste my time?
I'll get in it. I don't care. I know I'm not the best, but I might be the luckiest. Let's see.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, I've won free-for-alls against some pretty good lobbies before. Crazy things happen. The Mark of J. That's another guy who deserves an invite.
Like I said, the free-for-all system is more about luck than anything else. I can walk into a free-for-all in a public room and win it 9 out of 10 times every time. Mm-hmm. And then if you get into a room where everybody knows what they're doing, it's whoever gets the good traffic, and they can compromise on it. You could be a good player, you have a good spot, but if the traffic isn't there, you're not going to win.
You know what Call of Duty free-for-alls need? They need what Halo has with King of the Hill. Imagine King of the Hill and Call of Duty free-for-all. That would be fun. I guess no one agrees. I thought it would be fun. If you throw an objective into free-for-all other than kills, I think that'd be really fucking fun.
Why King of the Hill? Why is that so special? How is that a different objective than so many others?
Because you got to stand in a hot area, and people got to come test you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I do see what you're saying now.
Yeah, you don't get to pick your gunfights. With a standard free-for-all, you can pick your gunfights. When there's an objective, you're like out there with your ass in the wind, having to oftentimes win gunfights that you shouldn't win. The guy
who wins. This. Yeah, it took me a while to catch on, but I see what you're saying. You're like it, and it's not even about kills. It's about owning this part of the map.
Yeah, you got to take stuns and frags out though, or it's bullshit.
That'd just be ridiculous, right? No one could hold an area of the map. But yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, and take claymores out while you're at it, I guess. But that would just be. I love that. I hope I'd love to see that in Modern Warfare 3, like a King of the Hill free for all mode, where you need to sit there. Because in Modern Warfare 2 in particular, the real key to free for all was to run scavenger with claymores, own a building, work your way through the kill streaks, and then you're a winner. That's how it's done, and let your kill streaks win the game for you. Something like King of the Hill, that doesn't work. yeah, right. A12, right?
Why do we have a mod calling out X-Jaws a shit player?
Which one? We'll fix it.
X-Jaws is not a bad player.
Yeah, SYNSTER Bear.
Everybody that you see post YouTube,
Bear.
that every person you see on YouTube that post commentary is a good player. They understand the game. They understand the map flow. They understand traffic. They understand how to get on the top of the leaderboard. They might not all be the same caliber of player, but they understand the basics, and they're not going to be the hindrance of a team.
Yep. Oh, that guy's not a mod anymore, by the way.
Yeah,
so
for real, like that's just people are so silly. Like, do you think you're gonna like have you not noticed that we all like Jaws here and we all talk to him? He's our main leader. Like, come on.
They're emotionally retarded. What can you say?
You know what I've noticed lately on videos? People have hold video commentaries at such a high level. If you ever try to mess around with them, like I did a Gremlins video lately, people freak out. Like, why is people taking it so seriously lately?
What people take what too seriously?
Like commentary in general.
Oh, dude, I watched your Gremlins thing. I was like, oh, Wings of Redemption applies his keen analytical mind to Gremlins and the time zone quandary. Like, next you think he's going to debunk Flubber. Like, I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Flubber's bullshit. Come on.
Right,
I can believe that maybe it's super bouncy, but how's it alive? That don't even make sense.
Yeah, the dude, Flubber is totally bullshit. A human body cannot take that kind of change in direction without damage. He's bouncing from three
forces it is.
Even if he does bounce out of a 4-foot drop, that's still a 4-story drop and a change of direction. That'll kill you. Let me go to Superman catching Lois Lane. She's dead too. She splatters across his area.
Little ass dinosaurs. Come on now, Jurassic Park couldn't even do that.
Wings, I think you need to debunk all sorts of cartoons and ridiculous movies. It could be a new series.
Tom and Jerry over there.
People didn't really understand it at all. How the hell does Bugs Bunny tie a double-barreled shotgun in a bow?
Exactly. Dude, some of this stuff is not realistic. People think Tom and Jerry was real, but I have news for them. If you hit someone with a frying pan, that frying pan does not take the shape of their face. Debunked.
Let's get some live video.
So yeah, Wings, I think that you totally nailed all the Gremlins believers that they're
but the idea of the video is supposed to be fun and thinking like, yeah, that's some bullshit, and then people are like, this is stupid, like seriously, why the fuck do you watch videos? I watch videos to be entertained. I watch videos to smile. Why the hell do you watch videos if you want to sit there and cry about somebody talking about one of those analytical points of Gremlins?
I don't do a really good job at predicting like which videos are going to be hot and which videos are not. Like I did one, I'll call it 3 weeks ago, where I did this parody of the On Any Given Sunday speech, where I tried to rally troops about, life is a game of tickets, there's domination tickets, whatever. And it went over like a lead balloon. Like nobody liked that video. And I was psyched about it. I was like, oh, this one's a winner. Here it is. I can't wait to upload it. It's going to go wild. And it wasn't a winner for me. And sometimes that happens, man. Sometimes you just don't know which ones are going to be hot and which ones are going to be so.
You know how the thought pattern of the Gremlins video came out? I was talking to a friend of mine, and we started talking about Gizmo, because his dog was named Gizmo, and we had a deep, in-depth conversation about the times. I'm like, man, I bet my subscribers would like to get on this conversation. And that's the whole thought I put into the video.
What can you say? I put up a paintball video today not knowing how well it would go, and that thing was super well received. I was pretty excited about it. People really liked that video. So
people are wondering, is G-Unit invited to the top commentator?
Of course. Let's leave it at that.
He actually been really quiet lately. I've heard nothing about G-Unit in like a year.
Well, that has to be because we're not looking, right? I mean, he's still making videos. He's still doing his thing.
I mean, I respect him for that. He is in his own little corner. He isn't going. He does his stuff, and he's happy. Is Muzzlefuss invited? I'm gonna let Kyle handle that one.
Yeah, I don't see one now.
Yeah, to me, it's when I see an all-star game, like in hockey or something, sometimes they'll be like, I'll make up a name. Wayne Gretzky didn't have that great a year. How come he got invited? Because that's who the fans want to see, right? Like, he has a track record. He has there might be some guy who had a standout year, and this, particular 3 months, he did better than an established star. But I choose who I want in my NHL All-Star games. And if it's a star who's earned his way over the last 6 years instead of the last 3 months, then I see where they're coming from. And if people want to see Muzza Fuzza in there, then Muzza Fuzza should be there because, the people who go there should be the ones that people want to watch. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. You don't pick Albert Pujols over Barry Bonds on your All-Star team.
I guess. I don't really know my baseball, but probably both of those guys belong there. But there might be some guy with like 15 subs who's ex-Cal like, but if people would rather see Muzza Fuzza, that's who gets in the All-Star game. So that's my take on it. I hope it really happens. I hope it happens on Game Dunzo servers to make it as fair as possible, and that'd be pretty cool. When's it supposed to be? Does anyone know?
I have no clue.
I'm sorry, I don't know what we're talking about.
We're talking about the game challenge again.
Oh yeah, I have no idea.
Congratulations on whoever wins because it will matter nothing.
It matters, I think.
I love the sunny outlook. I love it.
I'm just saying.
Congratulations to whoever does this.
It's like winning American Idol. How many people actually did anything with American Idol victory? Carrie Underwood.
God, here we go again.
What? Wait a minute. Lots of people do stuff with their American Idol wins.
Watch the chat. This is gonna be good. It's not gonna get to him for another second or two.
Kelly Clarkson, they're calling out, and I don't know that you have to win either, right? It gets you known.
I'll be right back.
Who's the I want to call him the rocker guy.
Yeah, there's
bald.
I know who you're talking about. David Cook.
Is that him? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Dougherty. Fucking Dougherty. That's
Dougherty,
right.
that's the guy I'm thinking of. Daughtry or something like that. He made a huge out of that.
Daughtry. I pronounced it Dougherty for some reason. I just read it and spat it out.
That happens.
Yep.
But dude, someone who comes out of this being known as the best of the YouTube commentators.
Wasn't Taylor Swift on there?
No.
Sure?
Not that I know of. Well, I mean, I've been wrong before, but I don't think Taylor Swift was on there. Yeah, man, I'd like to see this challenge. We'll see how many people want to get in it and whether or not, like, oh wow, I just realized that whole thing about who people want to see being in the All-Star game is self-serving. I didn't mean it that way. But, if there's a spot for me on there, I'll throw my hat in the ring and do my best. I sometimes hang with big dogs. But
anyway, I would say like your top three, like all those guys that I can't think of his name. Sorry, but it was the guy. It was the fat black guy who took second when Clay Aiken won. The skinny white gay kid. That dude, Ruben Studdard. That was his name. That dude's got a record deal. He's still making records. Now he's not blowing it up. He's not Lady Gaga, but that dude's making a living singing.
Yeah, you definitely helped him, and
he's pulling six figures.
I read somewhere that the reason he didn't go big is he didn't have the conditioning to tour. Like he couldn't stay on his feet long enough. He was he wasn't in shape to walk a block, and you just have to be a little more in shape than that.
Yeah, I would think so. But yeah, I would. If you place in the top 2 on American Idol, you're probably going to be a professional musician from now on. If not, you're going to spin it into something else that's going to be profitable.
Yep, I think you'll make your way into Vegas or whatever. People will want to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And doors will open for him, If he were to cut some weight and talk to a record deal, they'd be like, oh, I know you. He's not getting the unknown attention, right? He's getting the attention of a known guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always like it when there's like somebody on American Idol who does something really fucking dumb, like pose for nude pictures during the show. Like, and they get, like, it's like there was some chick a couple years ago. She was fucking hot. But, like, I don't know how much money she was offered to post those news pictures while she was on the show, but it was the most retarded thing you could have done. It was like, seriously? You can't wait 2 weeks? Like, some people are so dumb.
So, Fear Crads, C-R-A-D-S, he and the Game 360 are organizing the challenge that we've been talking about, and they just tweeted, Mark of J and Ronaldinho are already in it. They say there's a spot for me if I want to join, and I do want to join. I'll give up my spot if there's somebody more worthy. Like, if they only want to have, like, 9 guys total, and all of a sudden, like, ex-Cal and NASA and guys who really deserve it, then I'll step back. But if there's room for me, I'll definitely throw my hat in the ring and do my best. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Right? Let me list the guys who've already said yes. Fearcrads, The Game 360, Marco J, and Ronaldinho said yes already. They're reaching out to XCal. Let's talk about who they should reach out to, see if we can convince them. XCal should get invited. I'd like to see C. Nanners in there, right? C. Nanners puts up some really great scores. Sandy Ravage.
Yep. Sam 5000. I mean, just might as well let him fight with the connection. If Sam can like be in the top 3 with his connection, that's a win in my book.
Yeah, I mean, Sam 5000 is easily good enough. He has such a disadvantage being in Europe, but he's earned his spot. You know, maybe he goes on that list. Who else is way up there with the beastly scores? Did we say X-Jaws yet?
No, but he should be
in there.
Yeah.
Maybe a Bendro. I play with Bendro a lot. He's usually the best in our lobby. Thunder Toro, is he up there? I mean, he gets beastly scores all the time. I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see, though. I hope they do that.
Yeah. I hope they do it too. Who else is amongst... Socrates is going to be gone. NASA?
Yes.
NASA puts up some big scores. I don't know. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see more. It might be neat to throw in a pro if there's room, like a Hastro, and see how he does against all the... Like I say pub stars, but I don't mean that to be a insult, right? And all the guys who rock pub lobbies a lot. How about that?
Yeah. If you want an unknown, I got somebody you can throw in there. They'll probably win the thing.
Is it Ryan?
No, I'll throw JD Reed in there.
You think he could win?
Probably so.
I've played with him before. He's an amazingly good player.
I'll never forget when we were with that player who I will not name, and he had never gotten a nuke before, and he wanted to get a nuke, and we were all going to like help him get it, and I invited JD in there, and JD was like, "Oh, so we're going to help him get a nuke, huh? What, you've never gotten one?" And he literally gets the nuke in like 2.5 minutes. It was he calls it in, says, "Nice playing with you guys," and leaves. It was so fucking funny.
Really? How did he get him a nuke?
You were there with us. No. Reed got we were trying to get the nuke for somebody else. And I invited JD Reed in there, and Reed gets his own nuke and calls it in and leaves.
Oh.
I think
see.
You were there. We were playing on
opportunity.
Invasion, I think.
I thought he somehow arranged it so that someone else could get a nuke. And that... Dude, I remember we played with... we were doing Game Battles tryouts, right? So we were just getting started. I had never even... Well, I barely played Game Battles before. I was playing with Socrates and JD Reed and Impulse and those guys a little bit. But we were doing these tryouts, and we played with Preus. And we were playing against the most... Like, the whole team was like Scavenger... Noob Tube, China Lakes, Danger Close, whatever. And they were just so annoying, and we hated them. And we're like, Preus, get a nuke. And something like 90 seconds later, he was calling in his nuke. It was just, he was on fire, and he's a really strong player.
I got my birthday gift from my executive vice president the other day, and I'm fucking loving it. She got me a SOG. What is this thing? Fat Cat.
You got a vice president now?
He is an executive vice president.
Executive vice president. It's the SOG Fat Cat. It's a folding knife made by SOG, and this thing is it's Japanese steel of some kind and VG10 steel. I don't know.
Wait up. Why haven't I got a job yet? What the fuck?
Oh my god, I had so many people fucking coming at me like my family were like, why didn't I get a job? Why didn't I get this job?
I thought her title was princess. It's not.
No, absolutely not. No.
All right.
Now
I got a good idea who the VP is, but
what was I? Oh, I actually knew about that knife. I've seen pictures of it a couple weeks ago, but I kept the secret.
Yeah, it's fucking sweet. I'm loving it. It's I've cut myself twice.
Oh gosh, you and your
dude,
cuts.
It's so fucking sharp. And yeah, they were small cuts. They were like cuts.
We went to paintball, right? And Kyle's hands are covered with bandages, like he would just improperly defuse
like
the
an
bomb
aviator on your fingertips.
like Kyle had some sort of firecracker accident. His fingers are covered with bandages all over the place, and he's like, oh my god, it was so terrible. What? How did you cut him? Were you opening a package?
All right, let me tell my end of the story. So, we're at the paintball field, and I'm putting together these guns. I just cut myself. Fuck.
Oh my god, you are such a girl. Go on.
Shut up. Just shut up. I was putting these guns together, and I was sliding Picatinny rail covers on Picatinny rails on the Tiberius, which most of you think I'm speaking French right now. But anyway, I'm sliding rubber onto a piece of steel that's really sharp around the edges. And I kept getting these, like, I didn't even realize it because they were such small cuts. They were deep, but, like, they were really thin because the thing's, like, sharp as a fucking razor. So basically, what I had, they looked like bitch cuts. They looked like paper cuts, but when you spread the skin apart, you can see they were really fucking deep. And literally my palms were like full of blood by the time I was done.
All weekend long, this guy was making a big deal out of his paper cuts. He was practically limping from like door to door, like like he was crippled by these paper cuts, and his fingers were covered with bandages, like he had just gotten into a horrible fireworks accident. And I'm like, Kyle, man, like what is up with this? You're a man, right? Now everyone experiences pain, but you get to choose how you react
I'm
to
tired
pain.
Of shit from you.
You chose bitch. You chose beach.
Like, you get to choose how you deal with pain. I always want to stab him in the thigh right then, and I want to hear him just like, ah! and be like, "Whoa, you choose to go the bitch way, huh?" No, all right.
Oh my god!
It wasn't a matter of me being a bitch. It was a matter of me knowing that I was going to be working, like putting stuff together the whole weekend, and like playing paintball and doing stuff with my hands, and I wanted them to like heal together so that every time I did something, it wasn't painful. All right, that's all. And I don't want to get any infections in my fingertips because they're expensive.
Sounds like somebody's a sissy.
Oh man!
All right, this is bullshit. One of them still hasn't healed. I'm looking at it.
When we go back, we're gonna do a pants check just to see if he's really a guy.
Oh my god!
Kyle, someone in the stream wrote, "Kyle wrecks Woody in a fight any day."
I'm glad they know the truth. I'm glad they know. See, that guy knows what's up. See?
I thought for sure you were gonna be like, actually, that's not true. But
no, I wish that I knew what. First, all right, like we was. Oh my god, I'm FPS.
In real life fights, knives find their way into rib cages.
No, Woody's gonna beat me like 999 times out of 1,000. That the one time is how somehow like I magically get his foot like I did when we were fighting in the hotel room, and I bite a toe off, and he just. I think if I'd bitten one of his toes off, that would have been the end of the game right there. And I was considering it. We were like tied in a knot, and I had his foot, and I go, I got his foot. What do I do with it though? and I kind of like leaned for it, like I was gonna bite it, but then I was like, nah, that's weird, and so I didn't bite it. But I was thinking about biting it. Oh, and there was one point like after Woody beat the shit out of me, where like I was like, if we can all take him if we go at once, and like three of us jump him at the same time, and like I've got Woody's left arm with both of my hands like holding it down, and I've got my legs wrapped around his legs, and I'm like, I got his legs, get him! And like when everybody piles on top of him, and we get him down, he gives up, and when we all start getting up, I realize I didn't have Woody's legs at all. I got fucking Eric the Aviator in some kind of crazy leg lock.
And it was all in a hotel bed.
And it was all in a hotel. Yeah.
Being videotaped, by the way.
3 dudes wrestling around in a hotel bed, scantily clad.
Scantily clad, that part's not true.
Mike Hard lemonades empty on the floor.
Mike's Hard lemonade flowing like wine.
That was actually a lot of fun that night.
It was fun. Like it is actually pretty gay. Even more so by the fact that like there was a cameraman standing by. It was like a gay. Yeah. If somebody had walked by, totally looked like a gay porno shoot. Totally did.
I like Mike's Hard Lemonade. That stuff was
yeah,
boss.
You had like a blueberry or blackberry or something. It wasn't like the lemonade. It was like lemon.
Yeah, it was dark.
Fish or something.
Raspberry? I don't know.
Yeah, I left in a bottle of that and like half a bottle of tequila in the hotel. So somebody got a hold of that.
And it was funny. Like, normally, I would, like, drink one and stop right on the spot. Like, no big deal. But because we were live streaming, they were monitoring my drinking progress. And people were, like, knocking on the door. Woody, time for more. And they just kept feeding it to me.
And I had got you that disgusting little bottle of liquor that Taylor then drank.
Yeah, Mercadurka downed it like a boss.
We go to me and Eric go to the liquor store, and I get some tequila and some margarita mix, and I go to the guy behind the counter, and I'm like, what's the worst tasting alcohol you have? And he's a Middle Eastern guy, and he's like, and it's funny because he didn't have an accent, but I'm going to give him one anyway. He's like, this is Red Stag, it is terrible. And I'm like, Red Stag, huh? No. You got anything worse than that? Ooh, this right here. And like, we get the second bottle, and it's like, what was that shit? It was like Blackberry Death or something.
Oh, it was terrible.
It was so bad. It was like 99 proof Blackberry shit. And Taylor drank the whole thing down like a beast. It was fucked up.
Hey, you know what? So I actually really like this conversation, but there's a bunch of Modern Warfare 3 info that came out tonight. You want to talk about it a bit?
I want to talk about why the hell is Mario selling liquor?
Dude, check this out. There's a perk called... There's a perk called Covert that blocks kill cams.
Interesting. That's been out. We've been asking for that for a while. Not we, but it's been out there for a while. People want it. That's pretty cool.
You know what I would like? You know what would be a fun perk? We should get one that forces you to watch the kill cam. Like, so I could like teabag prior to the kill, do a 360, and shoot you in the head, and make you watch that kill cam. That would be awesome.
That actually wouldn't be that bad.
No stopping power, no jug. Ghost is a second tier perk, which I'm gonna guess it competes with some of the better ones.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? Lightweight is tier 2, so it competes with Covert. I wonder if tier 2 is still gonna be the big thing.
I would think so. I don't like that there's Ghost in there again. I don't
like the Ghost either.
Claymores are supposed to replenish from Scavenger, which I think is
why
bad.
not? Why not? That's such a fucking stupid idea. Those fucking dumbasses. Oh my god,
man! Because like, there's pretty effective strategies. Like for example, second story on Overgrown in the library.
Yeah.
Right. You put a claymore by each door with an AA-12. You can hold that thing down for days, and you never run out of claymores.
You literally have to assemble a squad of 3 to make sure you take that dude out. You have to be like, go, 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 and everybody rushes in with flashes and stuns. Like, you can't fuck with that. They're so dumb. I've had, and I know for a fact of a couple of the guns that are going to be in the game that they haven't announced yet, and there's some bullshit guns as well.
Well, really? Because I don't care about the guns that much. I care about how the guns behave in game.
Gun.
See, but like, if there was an AA-12 gun, but the range was so short that it hardly mattered, or like they can do something with a fully auto gun that makes it more usable. If it was perhaps 3 hits to get a kill on there, then all of a sudden it's a fairly balanced gun. I wouldn't care. Like, it could be a bow and arrow as far as the animation on the screen, but if it had no travel time and it was an instant kill, it'd be worse than any sniper.
Fair enough.
So yeah, by the gun name itself, like, I don't know. It really depends on how they make it play. The best example, and you're an expert in this, is in real life, LMGs have hardly any recoil.
Oh yeah, like real life LMGs, like you're gonna be pretty slow, but like a saw, fully loaded, is like 20 pounds, dude. And it has no fucking recoil. It's an M16 with no recoil, and like it's fully auto. You could destroy some shit with a saw. It's inaccurate as fuck, but it doesn't matter.
In real life, LMGs would play much differently than they do in Call of Duty. So that I don't know what to say. That kind of tells me something, that it doesn't really matter which guns they include in the game. It only matters how well they can get them balanced. They did a pretty good job in COD 4.
Are they bringing Idle Sway back?
Hope so, man.
Is it gone on snipers?
It's gone on almost everything in Black Ops. There's no gun other than sniper rifles in Black Ops that has idle sway.
Are they all at 0? I didn't even notice. I should know that. But they're all at... There's no idle sway whatsoever?
No idle sway whatsoever.
Huh. But the recoil's so big in Black Ops, it almost replaces it. Like, you need...
Yeah, but that's another factor that can make guns happen. Like, you can make LMGs a lot more accurate than assault rifles, but they have idle sway. So you can't pinpoint shoot people, but anything medium range, they're fucked.
Yeah, the tools they have are damage, the damage fall off, idle sway, rate of fire, and
recoil.
Yep, recoil. Those are the things they can mess around with. And in COD 4, they did a pretty good job of keeping the guns fairly balanced. Now, everyone knows MP5 and M16 were considered the top ones, but it seemed like there was a situation or a style of play that would make almost any gun the best gun in the game. Like, I could run around in... Is it Block? Is that the ugly gray one with the 2 buildings on each side?
Yep.
You could run around there with either a shotgun or... What?
Nothing.
I don't know what... Everyone's laughing. So, you could run around on Block with either a Scorpion or a shotgun and have a pretty effective game there. Or you could have a sniper rifle. Like, there were different playstyles that made everything kind of work fairly well. And... I don't know. That seems to be hard to pull off. What the hell did Kyle do in the stream? This is not good radio. What did you do? Here it is.
I didn't do anything. You don't have to stop. You just keep on going.
Oh boy. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Painkiller Already does not condone third-party websites on it or its live stream or radio telecast or broadcast. Motherless.com is not affiliated with Painkiller Already whatsoever.
This video is just starting. Let's just say she's taking her panties off and that dog is psyched. Oh boy, he's licking her back.
That's not her back, Woody. We're going to need an anatomy lesson for you.
No, it was. and there it is. That just happened. Oh man, that dog is psyched. Wow. So what? She just touched his unit to inspire him to come back. He didn't really stay very long. I'm going to narrate this thing. I had to say, though, like, this is definitely consensual. This is a really, really happy dog. This guy is yeah. This is a happy dog right there. He's psyched. He comes around every so often and...
What is he? I'm not still watching it. Jesus Christ!
I owe it to the
Woody's
stream.
getting a shoutcast play-by-play.
She's doing it again. It seems like so the dog will hop on from the back, doggy style, as you might guess, and he only stays for a second or two, and then he comes around and starts licking her face and such. She's not getting what she's looking for. She being the human woman in this situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep linking
trying to
the
say
stream.
the dog can't give it to like she needs it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep linking the stream. If you don't want to see some fucked up shit, then I suggest you don't click it because right now. I'm going through the related videos of that last video, and you can imagine they were of the same nature.
Wow, they're making this video lag. Yeah, he's greeting her like he would a dog. Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Oh, holy shit! Oh my god! What did get to the end of that video?
Get to the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's got a horse in it.
Oh man. Touching the package is not what all she does in that video.
Oh,
yeah. That last one I said is really rough.
Oh boy. Yep. Yeah, it's on now. She is. Oh, that dog is. That is a happy dog right there. He's totally.
He's not
psyched.
straight away from home.
No, he's not. That is a dog that will never run away from home. He knows where his bread is buttered. He is. You know what? I think he's going a little too fast. Quite frankly, I think I don't know. I'm looking at his pacing. Maybe I should reconsider. He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Yeah, for the people complaining, just don't fucking click it, bro. Don't fucking click it. You know where I'm going? I'm not sending you like links to like butterflies and shit. This is some hardcore shit. The idea is to get that reaction out of you. I think it's hilarious.
All right, I think that's Painkiller Already, episode 54, with our guest for like 10 seconds, Ian.
Yep. Such a good boy. Such a
Bitches.
good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. It's a good puppy. All right, that was it.